Well, that's about as stark, cynical, and violent as a Hollywood film could be in 1954. After I showed it at one of my recent Noir City film festivals, a worn out patron said it felt like he'd been subjected to blunt force trauma. Well, the trauma that was Edward G. Robinson's life at the time he made this film eased up a bit in late 1954. That was thanks to Cecil B. DeMille, one of Hollywood's most vociferous anti-communists, who helped get Robinson off the gray list and back in good standing at the studios. DeMille cast Robinson in the star-studded Paramount production The Ten Commandments, although the film wouldn't be completed and released until 1956. By the end of the decade, with the blacklist broken and anti-communist hysteria finally dying down, Robinson was back making A pictures for top dollar at studios all around town. Incredibly, Edward G. Robinson was never even nominated for an Academy Award in a career comprising well over 80 films. He was given an honorary Lifetime Achievement Award by the Academy in 1973, only to die 2 months before the ceremony. His last performance would fittingly be his legendary death scene in Soylent Green, opposite his Ten Commandments co-star, Charlton Heston. I loved the casting of Gene Parker in this film. It was savvy of director Ugo Fregonesi to cast another star of the 1930s as Robinson's loyal gal, who's waited years for their reunion. Her casting was inspired. Although never a big star, Parker had one of those Hollywood fairy tale careers. Born Lois May Green, the Montana native's indigent parents put her up for adoption when they were moved to California hoping to find work. In 1932, Louis B. Mayer saw a picture of the 17-year-old in a local paper after she'd won a poster design contest. She aced the MGM screen test he offered, signed a contract, and was on her way to being in demand on both stage and screen, although she always maintained that it was never her desire to be an actress. She also enjoyed a social life busy enough for one columnist to later describe her as the Liz Taylor of the 1930s. Ugo Fregonese was maybe the most peripatetic director of his time, so it's fitting that many of his movies revolve around nomadic men who called no place home. Although he spent most of his life in Argentina, Fregonese made films all around the world. His Hollywood films were all made between 1950 and 54, with Black Tuesday being the capstone to his American adventure. He continued working in England, Spain, Italy, and Germany before returning to Argentina in the 70s to finish out his career and his life. This may explain why Fregonese is not well known, since he never stayed in any country long enough to develop a critical reputation. His lack of renown has been rectified in recent years, thanks to retrospectives of his work at the Museum of Modern Art in New York and the Il Cinema Ritrovato Festival in Bologna, Italy, where Black Tuesday was resurrected in a newly restored print 3 years ago. Next week, I'll be back with a racket-busting noir from the Kings of Poverty Row. Southside 1000 is the King brothers' follow-up to the sensational Gun Crazy. And while it's nowhere in the class of that masterpiece, it's an intriguing picture, one of only 3 made in America by Russian émigré Boris Inkster, the man behind the seminal 1940 noir Stranger on the Third Floor. Now, if you can't imagine Don DeFore as a noir leading man, you're not alone. But that is no reason to miss it, especially if you like movies with female gang bosses. Until then, see you in the shadows.